How's everyone today? My mic's probably.
Oh, she's 89 years old, but she's still kicking.
Testing.
I thought I was going to be the elder here.
Grandma and Grandpa looking out for the
Should
party.
I cover my cheeks so they don't get pinched?
And that depends on your alignment, sweetie.
Grandma's one of my favorite characters to play with. Alright, so we will now begin the Lost Laboratory of Kwalish. This is it is a module, so it's not a hardcover, so you guys probably won't level up until you finish it, but we'll probably be playing for at least 3 to 4 weeks. That being said, I'm going to try and encourage roleplay, encourage anything interesting you guys can do. Just keep it tame, I guess is the only big thing. Don't go too off the walls and everything. I do mostly play rules as written, but I will bend rules a little bit if I think something is cool. So, that being said, let's go ahead and start off first by introducing everybody's characters. So we'll start on the left here with Surak.
My name is Motete. I am a necromancer, and please do not lecture me about whether it concerns you or not. I'm not here to soothe your conscience. You must deal with that on your own. That's
Wonderful.
level 9.
Very inhuman, right?
And human, yes.
Okay, Misty. Yeah, go and make sure you guys give like a race and class as well when you introduce yourselves. Go ahead, Misty.
My name is Waxen Misty Glades. I am a tabaxi. I have a bow and a sword, and I have leather armor with sequins studded into it because I like to look pretty.
Awesome. Remark.
Alright, this character is Remart Marrowseeker. He is a variant human, about 5'7", rather on the skinny side. You notice he spends most of his time flying on a broom and wielding a longbow with a magical cloak that he has his hood up on at all times. He is level 5. He is multiclass of 3 in Rogue and 2 in Warlock of the Hexblade variety.
Cool. Garrett.
Gart is a Oath of the Ancients Paladin, level 7, half elf. I feel more attuned to nature than any particular deity, and kind of float on the good side, helping those who I can. But just like nature, if you can't fend for yourself at all, I don't see any value in lending my aid too much.
And last but not least, Grandma.
Grandma is a redemption paladin. She's level 8. Her job is to take care of the party, sure everybody's well fed and well healed. But if somebody's acting up, she'll whoop their ass. She knows how to. She's still got it in her. And this is Tulip, her reindeer.
Wonderful. So, you guys are a group of adventurers. You kind of know each other fairly well. You've traveled together once or twice maybe before. But you've all kind of conglomerated together on this offer. There's been a local merchant by the name of the Cartophile, who has discovered some hidden maps within his library. The Cartophile is this really well-known merchant in the area who collects all sorts of maps and lore, and he has bookshelves upon bookshelves of them. So he's discovered these maps within his collection that lead into the peaks that I'm blanking on the name of right this second.
Barrier?
The Barrier Peaks, thank you. And as such, he is looking for some adventurers to go in and explore it. He's been, you guys have decided to accept the call. So, we start off by having a meeting in the Cartophile's office. So, you guys come into the Cartophile's office. It is a dusty room. Apparently doesn't spend a whole lot of time in here. There are papers scattered everywhere. He's got several couch cushions and disarrayed chairs. It's a bit of a mess. He doesn't take too much care of it, as he spends quite a lot of his time in his library reading all of his maps and notes and whatnot. He's invited you to take a seat, and he welcomes you in. Greetings. You must be the new adventurers who accepted my offer.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I have a mission into the Barrier Peaks. I'm looking to map the surrounding area more. I have these various maps I've discovered, and they're incomplete, and they hint at a lost city within the peaks that I would like to explore and see if we can locate and complete my collection.
Interesting. Sorry, go ahead. Interesting. Can we see the maps and see what you have so far, just to get a lay of the land?
Absolutely. And he starts digging through this whole pile on his table. He's like, "Oh, they were around here somewhere. Oh, where are they? Oh, here they are." And he pulls out a pile of maps. It's about 4 or 5, and then hands to you. You see that they map kind of the various tunnels and pathways that go into the Barrier Peaks. And he goes, if you notice here, there are several markings along some of these maps. You notice there's like 3 or 4 different maps by 3 or 4 different artists. They all seem to suggest that deeper in the mountains is a place called the Duan Gloon. This is the most impossible word to pronounce I've ever seen in my entire life. The vowels do not make sense.
Sounds dwarvish.
Juan Clun. Oh, it looks Gaelic.
Very Gaelic, I'd say. And he goes, there's mentions on it on all the maps, but the locations on the maps differ vastly. And I looked into some research about it. Nobody knows about this legendary city at all. As far as we know, it's this city in the mountains where the people who live there are made entirely of glass. I would like to hire a group of you to explore the Barrier Peaks, map it out for me, find anything you can find, and return it to me as long as the location of this Duan Glown, however you pronounce it.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. It's very dusty in here.
If the Cartophile will allow me, I'm gonna reach over, take some of his maps, and start doing a charcoal rubbing.
Oh, that won't be necessary. It won't be necessary. And he snaps his fingers and he goes, "Come in!" And the door behind you opens, and in will walk 4 people. Well, 3 people and a mechanical robot are 2 people and 2 mechanical robots.
Huh.
So, the first person, robot that walks in, appears to be a coffin. Attached to the coffin is a kind of mechanism with 3 legs, moving around. It's walking as if very robotic-like. I can actually show you exactly what he looks like. This here is Centimere. He's let's just call him an unsavory folk who is originally from the Barrier Peaks. I think he'll be quite of use to you. He might be able to assist you in your travels as locating your way through the Barrier Peaks. Be careful, though. Do not let him out of the coffin. He is a vampire, actually.
Ooh.
Behind him walks a Modron. Here we have Gearbox. Gearbox is a Modron from mechanics. He's had a few improvements, and he seems to be fantastic with me. By far my best cartographer I've ever purchased. Very accurate, very precise. highly recommend him. He could be of use. He's very good at telling direction and time and all these other things.
It's quite adorable.
Behind him walks a lady completely clad in red. She has... I'll show you what the cartophile looks like as well. That's the cartophile. Behind him walks a lady in red. You see that she has several chains kind of hanging off her waist that flow loosely like they're in water. She has a book on her hip, and her hair is kind of done up in red buns. She appears to be an Eladrin with her entire dress to appear to be made of autumn leaves. She walks in, and beside her walks this eerie red cat with glowing eyes. This here is Mary Greymalker. She is a witch of sorts. She's quite proficient. She'll get you through almost any situation. And last but not least, walks in a tiefling bard. He's kind of got a large smile on his face and a beard on his chin. This is my assistant, Gary Leviticson. The tiefling bows low. He goes, Garrett Leviticson, at your service. I come from a long line of tieflings, so heading straight back to Levistus himself. Now, I would like to offer the services of these people to you. You may take one or two of them as you please to assist you. They'll be doing all the mapping and drawing and assisting you as any way they possibly can. But they'll be my retainers, if you will, to ensure that the mission is a success and that anything you find belongs to me, makes it back to me, you know?
May I ask how you convinced a vampire to ally itself with you?
Sometimes things are put into your service, and he's one of them. He works for me now, and I keep him alive.
That's unsettling.
My own prejudice leans towards the vampire.
Based on
He
what we've
would-
been... Go ahead.
So he would prove useful if he knows the ways around the peaks.
I agree with Misty. Having someone that knows the region would be of great value.
Motete, can you guarantee his loyalty?
No, I cannot. I have not acquired that power over undead as of yet.
If we were to take him, we should be cautious.
Thanks for the follow, Deadboard.
I view him more as a curiosity that I wish to
Oh, nice. Yeah, I really like it.
observe.
It's really useful for at least getting players in. I'm glad you're having fun.
I have no preference.
Well, it sounds like there's a number of us that believe that the vampire, though needing to be carefully kept an eye on, would hold value to what we're doing. The good lady seems like she is a rather capable arcanist.
Rather capable diviner, in fact.
Motete, I wouldn't want to step on your toes, but if her realm of expertise ranges differ from yours, do you think, as a fellow arcane user, she might be of value?
Perhaps that would be the wiser choice. My fascination is all that it is with the vampire.
And you said we can only take one?
You could take two, up to two.
Two.
You could choose to take only one, but you could take up to two.
If our mission is to map things, then we need a mapper. So the little Modron thingy would be. I don't know how well Miss Eladrin can map, or Mr. Vampire.
I should be able to reasonably map. I have some background skill with terrain and...
As do I, but I am not a cartographer, so I don't know how exactly it would be for Mr. Cartophile's requirements.
If you would like a mapper, my recommendation, of course, is Garrett. And Garrett goes, absolutely, I am the Cartophile's best mapper. It comes from my long line of descendants from the Vitisis himself.
You seem rather proud of that.
You don't earn a name like the Vistus' son for nothing, after all. It's kind of a point of royalty within my family.
Yeah, Bard wouldn't be a bad idea. Can we speak to the vampire, or is he locked up?
Yeah, he'll talk to you.
Hmm.
Every time he talks, when he talks, you can hear it almost echoing from inside the coffin. I would
Doesn't
not
sound-
mind guiding you into the mountains.
And you were originally from that area.
Indeed, I grew up there several centuries ago. Yes. So the coffin definitely contains an undead. And I think that's it. I think that's all you sense.
So there's not significant fiend blood in the Bard?
He's a tiefling.
Yeah. Okay.
Given that they're all members of your employ, my good sir, I would imagine that they at least have a rudimentary knowledge of gaining the information that you would need if we can support them with the necessary vision of what they need to see.
No, absolutely. They are all trustworthy hirings of mine. The reason I would like them to come along with you is because I trust them more than, no offense, but yourselves. You've just walked in here, and these guys are within my employ. The vampire may seem sketchy, but I promise you he's attempting to atone for his evil deeds in the past.
I think we should at least take the vampire. If nothing else, it would be interesting.
I agree with the vampire wholeheartedly. I think it right now is in between the tiefling and the diviner, the Eladrin. Tiefling sounds like they're better qualified as a map maker, but personal opinion, I think that our good Lady Mary Grey Malkin has more potential to be of use.
She speaks up. She goes, not to speak highly of Mr. Levistus' son, but I come with quite a few interesting powers. You see that she's shuffling a deck of cards in her hands just over and over and over again. She goes, I foresee that taking me with you will be quite beneficial to all parties involved.
Does anybody feel particularly strongly one way or the other in between the two? Because as our employer has just affirmed, they both have the necessary rudimentary skills to gather the necessary information, even if the Vista Sun might be better at the actual map making.
It would seem that the diviner is informing us of our fate.
Misty would like to get down on the ground and try to try to with the cat, just with the red cat, just kind of. She's a cat too. I don't know what.
Introduce.
I don't know what word I'm trying to. Yeah, I guess without it sounding weird, I don't know what word I'm using. What word to use?
You are exchanging sense and acknowledging kinship.
Yeah, that thing.
Give me an animal handling check.
Oh dear. Oh, I do good.
Watch it be a familiar, not an animal at all.
The cat kind of looks at you. The cat kind of looks at you with glowing red eyes, and then she hisses at you, and like crawls behind Mary underneath her dress.
We should take the tiefling, I think.
Should we drop it down to a vote real quick, or let's keep this moving?
This is all right. I will take whatever you guys wish to do. We will keep our distance from each other, Kat and I.
Big Pokey fan, man. Thanks for the resub.
I lean towards Grimalkin just because of the potential use of
Big
having a
lurking
divine
Pokey fan.
with us.
It'll be good. Do we have healing people then? Will people heal?
We have paladins.
I am skilled in some healing.
Okay, so we decided on the vampire and.
Oh,
we're
Okay,
voting?
sorry.
Yeah, we're voting. Okay.
that's cool.
Yeah, go ahead and put your vote in the chat if you want to bring along alongside the vampire.
Mary is fine.
Okay, that's 2 votes for the diviner and at least 3 votes for the diviner then, and an abstain. So, Mary goes wonderful. She kind of puts her deck away for a second, and then she goes, "I believe that I will be of great use to you." Oh, wonderful. Well, the maps won't be quite as nice as if Garrett is gone, but that's perfectly fine. I'll take what I can get. Centimere has an eye for, well, as much as he can see, has an eye for detail at the very least, and Mary is good at finding her way, so I'm sure we'll likely to get at least full maps, if not detailed ones. Well then, I look forward to your return. Off with you. He claps his hands together.
Okay, bye.
Before we leave the town, do we know if the area that we're headed towards is of a particular climate?
It is mountains.
But as far as, like, is it known for being a particularly cold region, or are we heading there during a particularly cold time of year?
I would say it's late spring, early summer at this point. So while it might still be chilly being in the mountains, it's not going to be. We're not looking at cold weather gear.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Absolutely.
These are regular D&D AL modules, so tier 2 we have the 100 gold item from the shop.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take an antitoxin from mine if that's okay.
Okay. I think
So
you
I
take
for-
that instead of the potion of healing and the 100 gold pieces, right? Or is that
Yes, that's-
season 8?
I can give
Okay,
one item
yeah.
from the shop up to 100 gold pieces, and I'm choosing the antitoxin.
Sorry, forgive my ignorance. You said something about healing potion and 100 gold pieces?
Let me look at the renowned reward.
So from my
Just
limited...
one item from the player.
Go ahead.
No, that's fine. Just- I
From
was
my
saying the
limited
same thing.
understanding of it, in tier 2, you have the ability to choose one item from the player's handbook within the shop listings up to 100 gold value and worth, instead of taking the whole health potion that you take in tier 1.
Okay.
You can still choose to take a health potion. It's just not necessarily required. So
Okay.
I'm choosing, instead of taking a health potion, I'm going to take an antitoxin. But it's still limited to one item.
Okay.
Good to
Only
know.
last for the session.
Thanks, Deadboard. Actually, I wouldn't say
Is
that's quite
there
good, but I try my
default
best.
inspiration in tier
Appreciate
2,
it.
or is that just tier 1?
This is tier 1.
Just tier 1.
Okay.
Okay, so the group of you head out then. So the way Centimere will work is he cannot control his own legs. They will follow your orders explicitly. So if you tell him to go somewhere, he will go there. If you tell him to climb, the legs will climb, etc. But he has no personal control over his own movement or directing the apparatus at all. Mary will kind of follow you guys. She has kind of like this witchy, mystical look to her. She speaks softly. She has always got this deck of cards in her hand that she's shuffling. No, he'll move. He'll listen to you at any time.
Okay, so at night we don't necessarily expect him to jump out of the coffin and be all over the place kind of thing.
From your understanding, he cannot leave the coffin, period, unless you tell the coffin to open.
Interesting. Okay.
He is trapped in there permanently. The trip to the mountains is a couple weeks. You know exactly where you're going. You have these maps. Mary will kind of hold on to everything that the cartophile has given you guys. And she is his retainer, so she's kind of responsible for both producing the new maps and keeping hold of his goods and services while you guys are out on exploration, so you don't have to deal with actually mapping anything. She will be doing all of that. Centimir is more of your guide, so he'll typically lead. And after a couple weeks of traveling, you find yourselves in the Barrier Peaks. It's a large mountain range kind of spreading along the edge of the Sword Coast here, north of Waterdeep. And there are travelers here and there kind of going in and around the mountains, but for the most part, it's not some place that people necessarily travel regularly to. It's more of a there are villages here and there, or there are small towns nearby, but the closest large settlement is Waterdeep. After you get to the Barrier Peaks, it takes you about a day to find the correct path to the cave system that you have maps for, but you are able to find it. So, is there anything special you guys would like to do before you head into the mountain range?
Sometime during the trip, Misty would like to sneak a glance at the cards that Mary keeps shuffling. Just because she's curious.
Are you trying to look at the
I
cards?
just want to know what they are. I just want to know what they are.
Yeah, so she's got this deck. Are you being conspicuous about it, or
No. I want to sneak a look at she's shuffling.
Okay, so you look at the cards, and it looks basically like a deck of cards. There's pretty intricate designs on each of the sides, but you can't seem to get a good look at them. Even though she's not shuffling very fast, they seem to almost blur in front of your eyes, as if they're moving kind of fast. Give me a stealth check, Misty.
You get caught.
Yeah, so she'll see you and she'll go, "Interested in the cards, my dear?"
Just wondering what they are.
These
They're not new magic very well, so.
These are fortune-telling cards. Would you like to see your fortune?
Will it tell me if I die?
It might. It might not. You never know.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know then. Thank you, though.
So she kind of speaks up a little louder than to the entire group. Would anybody like to have their fortune read?
I will. Just to see if fate's hand is strong as it claims to be.
She smiles at you. She goes, "Anybody who would like to have their fortune read must declare how many fortunes they would like. Would you like to know 1, 2, or 3 fortunes, dear?"
I'll go with 2.
So, you place your hand on top of the deck, and you draw a card. On it, you see the Ace of Diamonds. Fortune smiles upon you. The Ace of Diamonds is a wonderful card that allows you to see immediately into the future. You'll be able to solve many puzzles. Need to check some guidance real fast. Give me 1 second.
I actually have a tarot deck that I made for Roll20.
Remart, you receive a special boon. At any point during this adventure, one time. Let me grab it real fast. At any point during this adventure, you may ask or you may go into meditation and ask a question to me as the DM, and you will receive a truthful answer to that question. You can ask anything you want, and I will give you a truthful answer, period. You also get, if the question is, how do I do something, you'll get wisdom on how to apply it or anything like that.
Interesting. Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
Go ahead and take that card off the counter, or table, if you will, please. You can just right-click it and take.
That's pretty neat. I would also like my fortune read, if it's not too late.
Well, that's one. Did you want me to do both?
You will. I will give you one more. So you drew another card, the Queen of Diamonds. And with that, she smiles and she goes, my, good fortune does smile on you. The Queen of Diamonds is the Queen of the Moon. The moon grants us powers we did not previously have. Wow, very lucky. Very, very lucky. So now, the Queen of Diamonds is gives you an additional boon. You earn the ability to cast any 5th level spell 3 times.
What? Is it
Wow.
restricted by any class, or is it just any?
Any 5th level or lower spell.
Dang.
Okay. On that note, I am now going to go open up the player's handbook and start reading spells.
So go ahead and take that card as well, just so that we know that you do have your 3 spells you can use. That'll be effective for the entirety of this adventure. Who else said they want to have their fortune told?
Gerhardt?
Gerhardt, she shuffles the deck once more. She goes, those that wish to have their fortune told must declare how many fortunes they would like.
I would like only one, please.
Single fortune, good or bad?
I get to choose?
No, it was more of a
Okay.
comment.
Well, I'm gonna pick good.
Oops, that card is actually not supposed to be in this deck. I did not vet Sirach's deck before dealing it. Give me a second to edit the deck, actually.
Could you turn the music down just a hair?
So if you go to the tab all the way to the right, the gearbox, at the very top is a master music volume. You can edit the volume there individually.
Perfect. You're getting hard to hear for a second.
Damn it. There we go. I will edit that deck before next week, just in case. The Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades.
Getting Motorhead vibe going now.
So, you draw the Ace of Spades. And she frowns. Fortune does not smile on you.
Yeah. Had to happen to somebody.
She hands you the card, and when you do, you look down at the spade. On it, you see the background is a picture of a prison cell. And as you look at it, it appears to grow larger and larger. You look around. Suddenly you're on a cold floor, surrounded by metal walls made of some strange material you've never seen before. Almost as if it's been patchworked together. In front of you, there's bars that are covering the doorway, and you hear people screaming and yelling outside. The rest of you watch as... Who was it that was Misty that drew from that?
Gerhardt.
Gerhardt. Gerhardt disappears into the card.
Ooh.
Hey, what did you do with Gerhardt?
I did nothing. The fates
Bring him back.
do not smile upon
Bring him
me.
back.
I cannot.
Nobody knows.
Gerhardt, you're in a prison cell. The party will be able to find you at some point, but it depends on when they find you.
What happened to my horse?
It's a fine steed, right?
Yes.
Does it disappear when you go a certain distance from him?
It does not.
Does it have to stay within a certain distance of you?
No, but after it's over a mile away from me, I can't communicate with it telepathically anymore.
Your horse begins, or you watch as Gerhardt's horse begins kind of freaking out. Gerhardt, you reach out telepathically to your horse, and you hear nothing.
Okay. Well, I'll just hang out.
Okay. Mary begins shuffling her deck once more. Centimir goes, quite unfortunate. Mary's deck does not always shine upon those like it does our fair Remart here.
Perhaps we are done for shuffling our fates for now.
Nah,
I do
give
not
me
wish
one.
to lose any more of our companions.
Mary goes, not all fates are quite as unfortunate as his. Sometimes the fortune might even reveal the way to return your friend. You never know.
Well, in that case, give one to Grandma.
Grandma likes to draw a fortune?
Yee.
Just one?
2.
Two? Two.
Nah, 3. If it could get our friend back, let's go with 3.
Okay. Grandma, you reach down in the deck and pull out a card. The Queen of Spades. On the Queen of Spades, you see a Medusa-like visage, whirling and swirling. The Queen herself has snakes coming out of her hair. You look deeply at it, wondering what your fortune will be, when the Queen turns and looks straight into your eyes. You feel yourself stiffen up. You now have a -1 penalty to all saving throws for the remainder of the adventure.
Grandma's arthritis.
Grandma's arthritis.
Alright, I will just unequip my cloak of protection and call it a day.
You do not sense anything.
Good to know.
Be aware. Sorry, that was a Garrett. Be aware, Grandma. Critical protection does also increase your AC by 1. So just be aware of that going forward as well.
Yeah, I know. I fixed it.
Okay, perfect.
It's easier than clicking a bunch of buttons. Alright, 2 more. Let's go.
Oh, you're getting unlucky.
Seems like spades is unlucky.
I'm gonna shuffle the deck again just to be sure, because that was an ace, queen, and jack of spades in a row. You pull out the jack of spades. On it, you see a rogue. The rogue looks at you, angry, hostile, hatred in its eyes, and then you watch it disappear off the edge of the card. You feel that somewhere, someone hates you now, Grandma.
What?
Fortune,
Who can hate Grandma?
Fortune does not smile upon you in these days, Grandmother. You draw your last card, and then you put it back because that's not high enough. Actually, I need to check something real fast.
Does the card remain after she draws it, or does she shuffle it back in the deck?
The rogue gets taken out of the deck. It disappears. What was the other one? The Medusa will stay with you for the remainder of the adventure.
No, I mean like the cards themselves.
Some of them do. This in particular is one that gets shuffled right back into the deck, for instance. Odds or evens? Grandma.
Even.
Evens. Okay. Grandma, you suddenly feel better at things. You gain proficiency in the skill of your choice for the duration of the adventure, and you may also choose to draw 2 additional cards if you would like.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, you gain proficiency in any skill you'd like. Unlucky. Give me a card. There we go. Unfortunate.
Okay, done.
You've drawn all 3 jacks, or 3 of the 4 jacks now. Okay, so you get a jack of clubs next. Uh-oh. So you pull the top card from the deck, and on it, you see a mechanical skeleton. It is wearing a black robe and has snake-like features. Suddenly the card feels hot. And you drop it on the ground. It falls to the ground face up and begins growing. And out it rises, this mechanical skeleton, straight out of the card. The skeleton stands, looks up at you, points at you, Grandma, and goes, "Your death has been predicted. Fight now, with no interference from anyone else. If you die, your death is permanent. If you defeat me, you may continue to live."
Oh, I knew my time was coming up soon, honey. Let's get this over with.
I do not have this monster in here. Give me a second, I need to go import it. Actually, Surak, is your compendium in here?
Yeah, let me turn it on real quick. Give me 1 second. I forgot to turn that on.
The other option would be go to the other game and grab it and import it, but this is probably faster.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. I think it's on.
Let me try refreshing them. I'm not seeing anything.
Really? Let's see. Here, let me join on the DM side. And then I can drop. What's it called?
I need a bone naga.
Bone naga. Okay.
Oh, now I can see it.
Oh, yeah, now you can see it. Okay. Oh, there you go.
Oh, it didn't come with the token.
It's not here.
Oh, you got it. Nice. Thank you. So, basically, what'll happen now is, Garrett, can you actually see, even if I do that, if I delete you from the map?
Can I see?
Yeah,
Yeah,
can
yeah.
you see?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, Grandma has to fight this bone naga by herself, and she cannot get assistance from anybody else. If anybody else interferes, she automatically loses and dies. Oh no, that's not what happens. If anybody interferes, you summon your own bone naga and have to fight it, and you will die if it kills you. So, Grandma, roll initiative. Okay, the bone naga swirls up, her body swirling into a coil. She opens her mouth. You see immediately spawning lightning cracking in her mouth. She lets out a burst. She comes around here, so she doesn't hit anybody else. She lets out a burst of lightning energy. Give me a dex saving throw, please. That will fail.
Arthritis makes me pretty bad at those.
Yeah. Which immediately makes you take 30 lightning damage, as well as Tulip. Tulip will also take 30 lightning damage. I don't think Tulip can even save, can she?
Tulip's dead.
And that is your turn.
Okay, I suppose I attack it.
Okay.
The old walking stick.
Those will both miss. As you bink bink bounce off of the skeletal figure underneath this robe, your shillelagh bounces away, or your walking stick bounces away, and you're left almost open.
I'll look at it and say, are you really gonna hit an old lady?
It looks at you for a second, then goes, yes. As it wraps itself around you, flink, it smacks you with its tail. Give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Sorry to interrupt, but did it make it save?
Oh, I didn't even realize you actually using an action. Ward against any harmful spell that must first. You ward a creature. Are you using Sanctuary on yourself?
Sanctuary. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it makes a wisdom saving throw. And it fails. So it goes to smack you with its tail. You're like, would you really hit an old lady? And you go, or it goes, it hits the ground, completely missing its tail attack, losing its spell. Apparently not. Grandma, that is your turn.
I say, well, you a sucker then.
Okay, those will both hit. Whack,
Oh,
whack.
hold on. I'm gonna do this for each one. Grandma laying down the smite.
You hit your walking stick, and as you do, holy grandma energy comes out of the walking stick and explodes, blowing off bones off the skeletal figure, dealing 15, 24 damage on the first hit, and 14, 27 damage on the second hit.
And then I'll look at him and say, "You're not gonna hit an old lady," and I'll cast Sanctuary again.
This thing is looking bad as you blow off its whole, side of its body. Like, all the ribs on one side are completely gone. It's got, 3 ribs left on the other side. It's lost a jaw, and it goes, ow, that hurt. What did you say you were doing after that?
Casting Sanctuary again.
Hey, Dub, how's it going? Okay, yeah, you cast Sanctuary again. So this time it's going to cast Hold Person on you, but it's going to do its Wisdom saving throw first. What's your DC? It is 16, so it fails. As it goes to cast Hold Person on you, don't move. It finds itself squeezing the air. It's kind of like trying to wrap itself around you to hold you, but it squeezes the air instead and just misses you completely as it's confused. It's like, did you move? But it had literally just jumped in the wrong direction, unable to attack you. Deflected by your spell. Grandma, that is your turn.
I say, "No, I'm not moving. I'm just applying some of my organic hand cream. I'm gonna give myself 25 points of organic hand cream."
Okay, you're just sitting there rubbing moisturizer on your arms. Ah, this feels nice. You feel yourself for 25. Anything else?
No, I'll keep the Sanctuary going.
Okay. So the Naga will once again go, stay still. It's going to try and cast Hold Person on you again. Man, it cannot pass the Wisdom saving throw to save its life. And it does the exact same thing. It comes shooting at you, but your spell kind of deflects it off to the side. It goes to the other side of you and wraps around air and squeezes nothing as it tries to cast Hold Person once more. Grandma.
Oh, I feel a whole lot better now. All right, asshole, you asked for it.
And this time you hit it with this walking stick, crack its skull in half, and it breaks. You watch as the entire thing shatters like glass, blowing up in the air. And suddenly, the glass blows away in the wind. You live to see another day. Mary begins slowly clapping. I've seen many people fight the Avatar of Death, but few actually succeed.
Perhaps Grandma has a few good years left in her.
Many good years, if the fortune is to be believed. And as she places out the deck for you to draw your last card, you draw one more. This time you get the Jack of Diamonds. Ah, the stars shine brightly upon you for your victory. And as such, you, Grandma, may increase any of your ability scores by 1 for the duration of the adventure. It can succeed 20, but it may not exceed 24. So you may go to 22 if you have a skill at 20. Oh no, 21, sorry. You can increase your ability score by 1.
Cool.
Yeah, that was a unraised edible death. That was just a permanent retirement.
All right, no more playing with cards for this group.
No kidding.
I actually introduced, or I did something like similar to that to my home game, and they drew the skull card and fought the Avatar death and lost, and that was my first big character death in my campaign that I've ever done.
what do you do at that point?
You reroll. New character.
I'm still trying to figure out how to get Gerhard back.
I'll just keep going. I mean, I'm not there, so I can't say anything, but...
Centimere goes, well, that was quite the enjoyable spectacle we've had there. Wonderful fight, old lady. Shall we proceed, then?
It seems that we have encountered great peril even before our mission has begun.
I suggest before we go anywhere, we take a long rest so that Grandma can recover from her ordeal. So maybe we find a place to camp and consider our options for trying to find our missing comrade.
We'll do it, thanks.
I ate 5 Werther's Originals and now I'm back at full health.
Mistress Divina, you say you have power to locate things in this world. Where do you think our companion has gone?
She shuffles the deck and she goes, your companion drew the fate of imprisonment. The deck's power does not reach far range, so somewhere nearby they will be imprisoned within a cell. We will need to locate this cell, likely in the city of glass, I imagine. Shall we continue moving through the caves?
Question. The horse. Does it show that it no longer has any form of connection with with Gerhardt? Because if we're in, is it a mile? Is it 1,000 feet? I don't know for the fine steed. But if it's still got a telepathic connection, it might be able to lead us to him, correct?
It is a mile, and there is no telepathic connection anymore. The horse seems kind of almost lost. It's moving around wildly. You calm it a bit. It seems to be almost empty without its master, but it will follow you guys, yes.
Grandma, given that your steed, Tulip, passed, unfortunately, would you like to ride the horse and help keep an eye on it in case it shows an indication of where Gerhardt might be?
He was talking to you, Grandma.
Oh, I have my own steed. You can ride his horse.
Tulip was killed.
Oh yeah. Well, I can bring him back.
Okay. Do me a favor, Grandma. Go ahead and take those 3 cards and add them to your hand, please.
How do I do that?
Right-click the cards. Click Take Card. Thank you. So, I assume you resummon Tulip then?
Yay.
Centimere goes, now that we have had more than our share of directions, shall we lead ourselves through these caverns? We do not know how dangerous it will be going forward, so use caution.
Well, given that it took something as simple as a fortune reading to lose a member of the party and almost lose another, this is not a fortuitous start. I am fully on board with your suggestion of moving forward with the utmost caution.
Okay. Everybody give me a group survival check with advantage. As you guys are moving through, Mary's kind of giving you advice of, she'll like occasionally touch her head and then she'll point in the direction saying, we should travel this way. Good rolls all around. Look at that. The Centimere will often agree with her as well. After you move through the tunnels for a while, you find yourselves fairly deep inside the mountain. And this is at this point Centimere, who's kind of been guiding you and saying the general direction that you should be heading, goes, I do not recognize this area. This must be new. I am unable to see very well from inside the coffin. If you let me out, I might be able to guide us better.
Could I try and gain a knowledge of his intent and see if he's just trying to be released from his prison?
Trying to like incite him?
Yes. I just didn't want to wait till you say it.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and give me an insight check.
Alright. Ha!
Okay.
I don't know anything.
You do not suspect he's just trying to get out of the coffin. And Mary will also kind of back that up suspicion as well. She goes, I feel this is also the appropriate action. If he's able to see better without the restrictions of the coffin.
I think not.
I don't know where he is. Anyway.
This is unwise.
Motete, given that you are the most experienced with those of the undead world, I bow to your wisdom.
Vampires, the Mycetes, they have known to charm the victims and use deceit to gain nefarious ends. He has been imprisoned in that coffin for a good reason. Let us not be so quick to release him.
Fine, do as you wish. I will attempt my best going forward, but it will be very difficult from inside this coffin. I do not intend to cause trouble. I am attempting to atone for my sins of the past. I am trying to become a better person, if you will. I only offer that it would be far easier for me to guide you if I was not confined by this constricting thing. Fair enough, though. If you do not trust me, you do not trust me. We will continue on. So, you guys continue moving through the caverns a bit. Mary still using her divine abilities to kind of point you guys in directions she thinks are the appropriate ones based on her kind of her small divinations she has or insights. Centimere still will kind of guide you in the same general direction. It's hard to keep your sense of direction inside these caves as you're underground. You can't really see the sky or night. You're not even entirely sure what time it is anymore. But he seems to always kind of know which direction you're heading. He never seems to lose his sense. Give me another group survival check with advantage, please. The caverns kind of vary. Sometimes they'll be as high as 50 feet up. Sometimes they'll be you'll have to duck. When that happens, the coffin kind of lays flat, so it can go down to about 2 or 3 feet tall. But it does vary in size. Wonderful. So after another couple hours, you guys are wandering through. Gerhardt, you may take a short rest if you would like.
Good, short?
Yeah, it's not quite been long rest. After a few hours, you guys see ahead of you a light appearing at the end of a tunnel. Mary will go, that seems to be an exit, and my senses say we should probably head that way.
You want I check it out first?
I trust in your ability to move stealthily. Please feel free and I will cover you from a distance behind.
Misty will go forward and check out the light.
So, Misty, you stealth forward. You guys watch as Misty basically disappears into the night, or into the darkness of the tunnel. Even those of you dark vision don't seem to be able to see her anymore. Wait, is Misty a guy or a girl?
A girl.
Okay. Yeah, you doesn't see her anymore. She moves stealthily through. Misty, you approach the edge of the tunnel here, and you see that it opens up into a large cavern. Directly in front of you, you see that there's a platform of sorts that is overhanging a cliff. Sitting on the platform, you see a large monstrosity with the head of a human. Oh my god, what exactly do they have? Give me a second. The head of a human, the body of a lion, and the wings of an eagle. And it's sitting quite regally with its tail flicking back and forth. On top of its head, you see that a lot of its skull has kind of been replaced by paneling. There's these boards of some kind with these magical lights beeping on it that seems to have covered most of her head, of the human head. And floating around her head are these tiny little rocks. They seem to be spinning in circles around her. When you peek out, she doesn't seem to notice you as she sits there staring at the cave door.
Okay, I will. How big is the cave? Is the cave behind her?
Massive. We're talking like there's a cliff behind her, basically. You can't really
alright.
see much more past the cliff. You see that the air is completely open there. You can see the sky at that point. Around you see there's still mountains around you, but it's almost as if it's opening up outside into this cliff edge with this monstrosity sitting on the edge of it. Give me a nature check. With that, you recognize the monstrosity as kind of a legendary creature of sorts, something not very rare. It's been altered in some way, but it is a sphinx.
Oh, good. Okay. I was afraid it was a manticore. It will creep back to the rest of the party. I'll say it leads outside the big cliff, but there is a sphinx in the way. She's got little rocks about her head, whirling around her head.
Such a cool module.
Is this the only path available to us?
Mary will go, "This is the path that the divinations have chosen for us. There must be a reason we've been led straight to a lone sphinx on a cliff head."
Is the horse by chance reacting yet in any way, shape, or form to a link with his master?
Oh, Remart. About 30 minutes ago, you felt your horse once again come connection with you.
That would be Garrett. I'm Remark.
Sorry, not Remart. Garrett. I'm horrible with names. I apologize.
No worries.
Well, it doesn't help that we both have Art at the end of our name.
And
Yeah.
RE near the beginning. Garrett, you feel your connection with your horse actually come back on. You're able to telepathically connect with it. The connection's weak,
Okay.
but you can tell that it's still probably just now entering a mile range, but you know that your friends are now closer to you. The party will notice that the horse actually seems to calm down a lot and seem to have a sense of direction. Garrett, you're able to direct your horse to with orders. What would you like to order your horse to do?
I would like it to instruct it to stay calm and kind of use its head to nudge one of the party members, kind of trying to let them know that that it's sensing me, but it doesn't know what direction, obviously, and that it should. My last command will be for it to just follow and stay safe until we meet up again.
So the party will see the horse begin kind of nudging them. It has calmed down a lot. It's nudging them. It seems to almost be stomping its foot, like wanting to move forward. And you get the distinct impression that the connection between Garrett and his horse has been reestablished, which makes you understand that you're definitely getting closer to where he's at, which makes you think you're probably at least on the right path.
Given what we have been told of this creature by Misty, would you all prefer to take a direct approach and attempt to see if it has any demands of us, or shall we attempt to utilize the element of surprise and trying to the benefit of attacking first.
She may be able to give us information. She is very smart, I believe. Sphinxes are smart.
Very curious. what they're
Without
going to
doubt.
do.
But you said that she was rather large.
She is. She looks right at the entrance to the cave, too.
And she sounds predatory in nature based on your description of her.
You know, what more do I know about Sphinxes, DM?
With a 13, I wouldn't say you know more than what I've told you. You know, they're legendary creatures. They're not really good or bad, I would say.
Okay.
With him having informed, Misty, her having informed us of it being a Sphinx, could any of us make a check to see if we have more knowledge of what a Sphinx says or does?
I would say if you have proficiency in nature, I'll let you go ahead and make an additional check to see if you know anything more about Sphinxes.
I do not. Does anybody here?
I mean, I know metagame knowledge.
Well, no, I know tons of metagame knowledge. I'm talking about from the.
If you would like to make a check, I'll reveal to you what your character knows.
Yeah, I don't have proficiency in nature, so I can't take the check.
Okay. I would
There you
say you wouldn't know much more than Misty knows, since you both rolled a 13.
Well, I mean, we can shoot it if you want.
I have no particular
The
desire
irony
to
is that
engage in hostile combat
Surak
with
has
it.
significant
But
metagame
given
knowledge.
the way
He's
you
the one who actually
described
built this
it,
model for me.
I'm a little nervous.
18 to persuasion. Holy cow, Grandma.
Given Grandma's confidence, maybe we let her engage, and then a couple of us hang back that are more stealthy and try to be on hand if something were to go wrong.
Sounds good.
Well, Tete, do you have anything that you would wish to contribute in that manner? Sirach?
Pardon? Sorry. What was the question?
Remart just asked Motete if he had anything that he would like to contribute to how we handle this.
Proceed with caution, of course. But we should at least speak with it.
Given the charming disposition of our lady who has already fended off them once, might I suggest, Grandma, that you take the lead in this endeavor?
All right. What do we want to ask?
To get by.
Okay.
To get by and potentially to not get eaten in doing so. And then maybe if she has knowledge of a jail nearby.
Don't worry. Everybody loves Grandma. Oh, sorry. I guess it's not plus 18. It's only plus 30.
Oh no, the whole plan is ruined. I'm gonna
Hey.
stealth.
Plus 8 is still really good.
I'm gonna stealth
A
I would
13.
like to stealth as well.
somewhere in the somewhere before the cavern.
Okay.
I would like to stealth as well, and I do have my hood up for my elven cloak.
Okay. Roll with advantage.
Ha!
Oh,
I'm going to stay farther back than everybody because I do not have confidence in myself.
So, you guys exit out of the cave with the exception of Remart and Misty, who stay back a little bit, stealthing in the cave, making sure there's no opportunity or no attack.
Mechanics question for you real quick, Cora, just because I haven't utilized the Cloak of Elvenkind before.
Mm-hmm.
How does it affect? Does it have an effect on passive perception? I know it has an effect on active perception because it gives disadvantage to anything actively trying to perceive things. But does it have an effect on passive perception?
I thought it
So-
just gave you advantage on stealth checks.
No, it has an additional part of the text on it that says that it has
Yeah.
active attempts at perceiving the person wearing it while the hood is up have disadvantage.
So when things have disadvantage to see you, they automatically get a -5 to their passive perception.
Okay.
The
Excellent.
disadvantage
I did not
opposes-
know that.
Yeah. You guys exit out of the cliff edge. Out to the cliff edge. There you see, sitting on top of the platform, just as it had been described to you, is this sphinx. Her head made of metal, partially, but underneath you can see the remains of a human head. Swirling around the top of her head are these little rocks, stones, orbiting her in a way. What do you guys like to do?
Suppose I'm going in, right?
Yep, this is your world, Grandma.
Proceed, Venerable One.
All right, Grandma. Let's go Tulip. Tulip and Grandma will trot on over to the Sphinx.
The Sphinx's head turns toward you. You hear it kind of like grinding of metal on metal as its head turns. It looks straight at you. You see that the creature's eyes are actually not real eyes. They seem to be blue lenses of sorts that have been slotted into her head. The Sphinx opens her mouth. Treat with me if you wish to cross to the monastery. You do not appear entirely ignorant. I look forward to adding whatever small knowledge you might possess to my collection. Grandma, as you approach up to this platform, you get a better view of the valley behind you. Directly behind the Sphinx is a cliff edge that drops completely straight down into what can only be described as a bottomless pit. Clouds have formed within this valley that has formed within this mountain range. There's almost this circular area around you. Surrounded by mountains, and inside the valley is bottomless. As far as you can tell, it goes on forever. You know from kind of your travels and how exhausted you are moving through the mountains that you haven't really elevated much in the mountains, and you look around, you don't feel like you're too much higher up in the mountains either. So it almost surprises you that this endless pit is in the middle of this mountain range. But what is more surprising is floating behind the Sphinx in this endless pit is an island of sorts. Atop the island, you see that there is a large, almost building coming off of it, and several smaller buildings as well.
Well,
let's see.
honey, if you want a treat, I have the best treat. You can have one.
The Sphinx kind of looks at it curiously. You see her head kind of twitches a bit as she moves. She reaches forward with her claws and grabs your Werther's original, pops it in her mouth. Oh. Delicious.
So, honey, Grandma has lots of stories. Which one would you like to hear?
Tell me any that I have never heard before.
Well, let me tell you the story about the time Eddie came home after getting bit with lycanthropy, and I'll tell him the story.
Okay. Is that... Okay, so the Sphinx will go, I quite enjoy your story. Now, to solve my riddle, you must first ask me a question that I cannot answer. Be warned, I know the answer to every question.
And the same.
What's my secret recipe to my Werther's original?
She licks her lip a bit, and then she tells you the exact recipe to your Werther's Originals.
Ah, damn, you got the mistletoe too. Nobody ever gets the mistletoe.
And with that, you see her face goes a little more fierce. Her eyes turn into scowls as she looks down. She goes, "For failing to ask a question I did not know the answer to, you must instead give me your knowledge. You wish to cross the monastery. You will give up your intelligence to me. Pay the toll or die."
Well, I don't have much time left, and we really need to find our friend Gerhardt. So I'll give it to you. I got a lot up there in my noggin, so be warned, you might not like everything.
She puts her claw up to your head, Grandma, and you feel it wrap around your skull. She grips it tightly, squeezing. And suddenly, you feel something come out of your head. She pulls her hand back, and floating in between her two talons is another rock, very similar to the ones floating around her head. She holds it up to her head and releases it, and it begins floating around her head as well. Your intelligence is permanently decreased by 1.
Ouch.
Hopefully a dump stat.
It is now. Oh, it's that all-timers, you know, it's inevitable.
She flicks her tails back and forth, seemingly pleased. Would you like to travel to the monastery now?
Yes, that would be lovely.
She pulls her head back and she lets out a. It sounds almost exactly like a foghorn coming out of her throat. When it does, you see on the floating island in the middle of the cavern, there's an identical platform. And from the identical platform, you see something kind of juts out of it. There's a kind of a pulse of fire from it as it begins moving towards you. A skiff floating in midair along the clouds of the valley towards you. As it approaches, you see a hooded figure. It's holding an oar in its hands as it strokes the clouds slowly to move towards you. The ferry pulls up next to the dock, and the cloaked figure turns, holding the oar, expectantly, as you may now board. The Sphinx steps aside and gestures for the group to board the ferry.
With that, I will fly out of the cave with my measly 13 stealth, probably not up having hit anything from the Sphinx. And I will fly alongside the bark.
The Sphinx will stop you. You have not purchased toll for the ferry.
Pardon me, I thought you just said the group was good to go. I went specifically on that wording.
these ones have. But you and the misty cat remained within the cave. You may attempt to answer my riddle or sacrifice your knowledge to my vast treasury if you wish to board the ferry.
I will attempt to posit a question for the sake of myself and my friend Misty here.
The Sphinx will smile at you. She'll go, "You must simply ask me a question I do not know the answer to. But be warned, I know the answer to all questions."
Out of character. If you have a good answer for this, I'm going to be thrilled. What is the purpose of life?
You ask,
Okay.
is that what you ask?
Yeah, because no philosopher has ever been able to give me a satisfactory answer.
The Sphinx will stroke her chin with her paw. Many have been unable to answer that. And as such, I am also unable to answer that. You have earned your ferry ride across. And she will allow Remert and Misty to board the ferry then.
Thank you. I was honestly hoping you were going to try and come up with something, though.
I am supposed to
Mr.
reward the characters if they think of a logical contradiction.
Gotcha.
Now, Mr. Sphinx, just because you have the palate of Gordon Ramsay doesn't mean you can be telling everyone my secret
CJ,
recipe.
thanks for the reset. I appreciate it. Palette of Ramsey.
Right? You know if anyone can hear if you know if anyone's lying to you. Well, I know if you tell anybody my recipes.
She'll smile and she'll go, "All knowledge is safe with me, young lady."
Oh, young lady, I like you.
So the group files into the ferry. The hooded figure patiently waits for everyone to get seated and situated before pushing off from the platform. The boat seems to almost float on air, and below you, as you look over the edge, you see that the pit does not seem to ever end. The clouds are kind of blocking a lot of your view, but as far as you can tell, there is no bottom to this. After a short ride, you get a decent view of the chamber. You find yourselves at a platform, identical to the one the Sphinx was standing on, but in front of you is a staircase leading up into the monastery itself. All around, in the courtyard near you, there are hooded figures doing various chores, maintaining crops, fixing walls, conversing with one another, and general work. They all appear to be in monk robes, in small groups of 5 or 6. The buildings around you are quite strange, though. They seem to be made of a strange metal you've never seen, and they also have these thin plastic lines coming out of them, going all around the area. You as players know them as wires. The characters would have never seen wires before.
Like electrical wire?
Yes.
They got cable.
Throughout the area, there are small gardens tomatoes and other vegetables being tended to by monks, being watered. And as you depart from the boat, a single monk, hooded, walks up to you. You don't see his face, as is covered by a cowl. He appears to have been awaiting your arrival. He greets you warmly. Congratulations on finding us. The monastery of the distressed body remains ever open to new prospects. I am sure the Grand Master will find suitable use for your bodies or your minds. He holds his arm out. May I take you to him now?
Would you happen to know if you have acquired a new resident without your knowing?
We receive new residents daily. It is my duty to greet them. Who in particular might you be looking for?
A companion, and I describe him.
I have not met somebody of that nature. It is possible that if they fell into the valley below, they might have been teleported directly into the prison cells. I am not directly familiar with anyone within the prison cells, but they have not approached me directly.
Would it be possible for us to put forth an inquiry? We have had an unfortunate magical incident that claimed one of our companions would be imprisoned in a nearby area, and it seems to be the only beacon of civilization nearby.
Of course, you are welcome to explore the monastery. It makes no difference, really. All who come here will find their way to the Grand Master. Eventually. He bows deeply and walks back into the courtyard.
Can I see what kind of creature this is? Can I tell what kind of creature this is?
Give me a perception check. So with your quick perception and sharp eyes, you get a quick look underneath his hood as he stands up from his bow, and beneath it you see a vaguely humanoid shape, with the exception that his entire face seems to be flayed down to the bone. The rest of him seems to resemble a normal human, with that one exception. His face is deeply scarred down to the bone.
When he reached out his hand, or when he reached out his arm, could I see his hand?
Yes, and his hand looked very humanoid.
His hand was good. His hand was okay. All right. Okay.
He wanders off into the courtyard to go continue another a task. You have a feeling that when the fairy had ignited the fire, as it had left, he had been alerted, and that's when he had come down to the ferry docks to welcome you. So what would you guys like to do?
If we're alone, if he's left us alone, then I will mention that to the rest of the party.
He's left you alone, so
his face has been unskinned. His face has been skinned.
I think here we could try one more thing. So my grandson gave me this cool key finder because I lose my keys all the time, but I keep putting it on other things. So sometimes I find things that I'm looking for when I use it, and sometimes I don't. I figure we just give it a shot. And Grandma will use her key finder. She'll think about Gerhardt's holy symbol because he's a paladin, his ancient paladin. She'll think about the holy symbol he was wearing, and then use Find My Keys. Locate object.
1,000 feet of you.
And that's last spell slot.
Let me just check the number on this real fast. So you actually do sense Garrett's holy symbol. It's coming from this area over here, seemingly underneath the surface.
Alright, I share that.
Did you say there were, I was wondering if there were any like insects, spiders, cockroaches, rats, anything like that near me or in the cell around me?
There are definitely bugs around you, I would say. Some spiders in the corner, some insects around, but yes. Most of your time here has kind of been, you hear the or sound of like screams and bangs. Somebody's like banging on a wall somewhere nearby you, as well as people kind of chattering to one another. And you get the sense that there are other people within this prison cell, but none of them have spoken to you because there's not really windows or bars to look through on your cell.
I was considering doing speak with animals, but after reading it, I'm not sure I could get them to do anything useful for me.
Does his horse, this is due to out of character, lack of familiarity with Farm Steed, does his horse have a general idea of his direction along with Grandma's locate object?
He can only speak telepathically with the horse, if I'm to understand. He doesn't actually know where he's at.
Correct, yeah. We can communicate back and forth telepathically, but because I was teleported in here, I can't tell it how to get to me.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Well, we've got a locate object on. Shall we follow Grandma?
Also, DM, I had asked earlier, my horse is an unusually intelligent creature with an intelligence of 6. Is it able to communicate the goings on with me so I'm not like in the dark once you guys arrive?
I did see this. I just forgot to respond. Yeah, I'll let it kind of communicate basic thoughts and ideas to you, kind of almost images of what it's seeing the whole time. You kind of can get a feeling that it's telepathically telling you the things it's heard as well. So you kind of got an idea of what's been going on the whole time.
Okay, thanks. Just so I know my awareness.
Seems fine to me. Okay, what would you guys like to do?
Go to where the cell is, at least, and try to investigate.
Yeah, I would follow alongside behind Grandma.
Okay, so the group of you move through. Do you see several of the monks will kind of not really pay you mind, but other ones from a distance will look at you, but as soon as you get close, they'll duck their heads and go back to their work. All of them are wearing hoods and covering their faces. You have a hard time seeing under there. Misty, with your unusually high perception check earlier, you'll see that it seems every monk around here all seems to have the same kind of face. It looks like it's been seared off to the bone. Most of the people here are humanoids of some kind. There are a few tieflings. There are mostly humans. There is a few elves, etc. But all of them are humanoid. And you approach to the prison cells.
May I ask a question?
You may not. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. When we pass by these monks that turn away as we get close, I would like to watch them after we leave. After we pass by, do they just go back to work? Do they run to tell somebody? Or, does it look like they've had interest in us short of noting that we've passed by?
It seems more that they are looking at you, but it's not so much that they're trying to make you think they're not looking at you. It's more that they're. You get the feeling. Give me an insight check, I guess.
That they don't want us to see their ugly faces.
Yeah, it's definitely that they are trying to hide their faces from you, that almost as if they're ashamed.
Okay.
But they do not run off or go tell anybody. They can just continue whatever work they were doing. They might move away to continue whatever they're working on, but they're not like going to go tell on you.
Okay, thank you.
So you approach this area, Grandma. You guys are kind of hurrying along. This Grandma spell only lasts for 10 minutes. And you come to a building with staircases in it. And in this building, you see that it is lined with cells. These metal boxes. The entire building seems to be constructed together from pieces from somewhere else in the area. A lot of this island that you're standing on is made entirely of metal. And these pieces seem to almost be from the same kind of metal, but they don't seem to be the same parts of the pieces. They're all different in some small way, almost like it's patchworkly been built on here. The entire monastery is kind of made of these strange materials, and as well. Most of the cells here you see are empty, but every so often you hear a cell that behind it there are large shouts and the sounds of creatures just hammering on locked doors. Just yelling. What would you guys like to do?
Do we see anybody that seems to be functioning as a jail keeper? Any of the monks that seem to have duties within this area?
Yes, actually, there is a group of 5 monks and what looks like a monk leader, who are kind of guarding the prison cells. They're patrolling. When you come in, they nod their heads at you, covering their face with the hoods that they are wearing.
Gerhardt is going to pull out his flute and start to play it fairly loudly, for just a gentle tune, in the case that they might be able to hear it as they approach.
You guys hear a flute being played somewhere in the prison cells. Garrett, as you do that, you hear your door, or you see your door immediately open. Staying in front of it is a humanoid wearing a hood. Underneath the hood, you can see that his face has been cut off of his skull, so that only his skull is showing. But the rest of his skin seems to be pretty intact. There's just this, almost as if his face has been peeled off the front. And he goes, "Stop that, or I'm going to flay you."
The flute cuts off in like a dead, off-key note, just like.
As soon as you stop, he slams the door behind you. You guys hear the door slams as you look further down to where the sound's coming from. You see one of the monk guards is walking away from the cell.
Can we...
Excuse me,
Go ahead.
young man. We're looking for our friend Gerhard. We think he's down here. Could you kindly show us to where he is so we could reconnect with him and be on our way? Thank you so much. You're so nice. You want a Werther's?
He declines your offer of a Werther's, but then he will go, "You're looking for your friends. The Grand Master will be glad to help you find them."
Oh, you see, I think we found him. I think he's just right here. If you just point us right over there, we'll get him, and yeah, we'll do that.
If your friend is here, he's not to be trusted. You must retreat with the Grand Master if you wish to have him released.
Listen, a gambling addiction, getting a bad beat at cards, there's no reason to get locked up.
If he's locked up, there's a good reason to be locked up.
My good sir, given that his reason for being here is magical in nature, which our diviner could better explain to your Grandmaster, could we get assurance that nothing would be done to him until you receive word from one of your superiors?
Nothing will be done.
I'm going to go over and
Right.
tap on the door.
Well, then take us to this Grandmaster. I'm about to go full Karen on him.
Before we head out, I'm going to go tap on the door, and if Gerhardt can hear, Gerhardt, we're here. We are coming to get you soon. Hang tight.
Thank you.
Okay. The diviner will smile, and she'll go, "Fates have decided that he will be remaining in that cell, I imagine. We will see. Shall we visit this Grand Master, then?"
Let us hope that your fates are forgiving of those that are ignorant of their ways.
If we can find a peaceful solution to this predicament, I suggest we avail ourselves to it.
I am completely on board with that.
So, are you guys going to the large building there, slightly northeast of you? That is where the Grand Master lives.
suppose so.
Okay.
Unless he lives in a shack somewhere.
We'll actually go ahead and throw Garrett's token on. You guys know where he's at now.
I was looking at the monks, taking into consideration the flayed faces. Does it appear that they've also taken vows of poverty or anything of that nature? Or does the holding seem fairly well appointed?
Give me a insight check.
Okay.
It's not so much that they've taken vows of poverty, more that they're self-sustaining. So they live off everything they grow in the sanctuary, the monastery even. So their food is provided here, their shelter is here. They live here. This is their home.
Okay. Good. No. That changes negotiating tactics. Whoa, way too many people in here. Not okay.
So you guys enter into the central abbey. In here, you see that there are balconies overlooking a long, narrow, or it's not chapel. What was the word they used? Nave. It was a long nave. I had to look the word up because I'd never heard of a nave before. Balconies line all of the walls, and on each of the balconies you see there are more groups of these monks standing up overlooking. Quite a few of them are whispering and pointing at you guys as if you're about to have watch an audience take place. At the end of the long nave, a throne rests of twisted metal captain's chair rises from a metallic dais backed by an ornate arch. Sitting on either side of this arch are two quite beefy-looking monks. These ones have their hoods down, and you can clearly see their flayed faces. It looks as if the skin has been peeled off the front of their faces. They are half-orcs. They have large muscles, and on each of their waists are swords. On one of their waists, you see that the sword has what looks like a Medusa's head. Not necessarily like a real Medusa's head, but the hilt is shaped like a Medusa's head. On the other one, you see a star pattern almost exploding, morphing in a way on the hilt. Sitting on the throne is a bone devil covered in a leather smock.
You said a
Welcome.
bone devil?
A bone devil.
That's not a bone, is it?
What?
So we are able to discern are the devils considered demonic or fiendish in nature?
Devils are devilish, so fiendish.
Okay. Thank you.
So, you guys approach down the nave. Closer. When you do, the bone devil, you see that he's holding a scepter and wearing a crown. Inside the scepter has had these odd, like, crystal bumps and metal phalanges coming off of it, and the crown is gleaming in gold. He's tapping the arm of his throne, showing off his nails that have these kind of gleaming metallic shards in them. Welcome. We get few supplicants here of your obvious skill and experience. You shall do well in service here at the monastery of the distressed body. And that service will be the strength of your bodies, or possibly the strength of your minds. How can I help you?
We wish to recover one of our companions that is locked in one of the cells. He was magically teleported there. I believe he was not intended to arrive in that cell.
This often happens. People regularly get teleported into the rings when they fall to the valley below.
That
You'll
is not the way that he arrived. It was a magical accident. A gambling accident, if you will.
Well, it looks like you lost the gamble. He belongs to the monastery now.
Is there anything that we can offer in trade to find his release?
Or maybe a service that can be done for you.
He kind of gives a wide, bony smile and goes, Absolutely. If you would like to free your friends, I ask only for a modest fee. All of the magic items you have on your person. And then he points at, who's the highest level? Actually, no, he points directly at Motete. How do you pronounce it again? Motete?
Yeah.
Motete?
Yeah, you said it right.
He points right at Motete. And 1 year of service from that one.
I do not think that is a proper price.
You ask for the life of someone who belongs to the monastery. 1 year of service and a few magic items seems quite fair to me.
Is there not, by chance, something beyond these walls that you desire that we might retrieve for you? Or
He
a
gets angry
service?
at this. He's like, do not question the Grand Master. For that, I now simply demand the bare minimum for your arrival. 1 year of service from everybody, including the one within the coffin. Then you'll be free to leave.
I think I know where this is going.
Grandma goes and places all of her magic items on the ground. Good. At least somebody has a little bit of sense, but it is too late now. You've already declined the offer. A year of service from all of you, and I will still be taking your magic items.
Shall we begin?
So be it. You will die.
I take
Back-
to the air immediately.
Back to hell with you.
He takes his scepter and goes ding, and a loud metallic sound echoes through the chamber. With that, you see all of the monks pull out of their robes what looks like pole arms, devil's pole arms. They're long, bony. They're not quite as long as other ones. They're about 4 feet long. Each of them has one. You see the elder ones seem to have some kind of weird mechanism attached to the end of them. The two half-orcs beside of them each draw their swords. They glow magically. And with that, we're going to take a break real fast. Come back in 5 minutes. Half fast.
We are killing them all.
I am gonna miss out on this. That sucks so bad.
You know what feels worse? I started running this module for you, and you immediately drew the Donjon card from the deck of many things.
It happens. I got greedy.
All right, so 9:30 resume.
Yeah, 9:30 resume.
30.
I'll be right back.
Gotcha.
Is anybody staying on, or is everybody going?
I'll be right back. Actually, I'll just leave. It's here.
Okay.
The goal was to provoke us into combat, and it succeeded. Or you want us to go ahead and roll initiative when we get back in?
Yeah, go ahead and roll initiative.
Nice mistake. Have you ever run this module before, Cora, or is this your first time with it?
First time.
I wonder if anyone's ever actually accepted giving up all their items.
If you had no items, you'd be willing to do it.
Who gets to tier 2 and has no items?
Is my horse still with him?
Sure. Why not?
Put your horse in the initiative and have him attack.
Why not? I mean, it's
Talk about vicarious living.
a fey being that is extremely loyal to me.
If you're back, go ahead and roll initiative for yourselves, by the way.
Cora, what is the general height of this nave that we're with them?
About 40 feet high. The balcony is about 20 feet up.
Do I see any eaves or anything? Or any supporting bracers within the peak of the nave?
Like rafters up above you?
So similar to rafters, yeah, something of that nature.
Sure. Why not?
Because I wanted something that I could fly up and have cover behind. Thank you.
Is that everybody? Misty. Alright, so here's what
And
we're
you
gonna
said it
do.
kept out at 40.
Misty, you were the first to react as you see everybody in the room suddenly pull weapons. And the Grandmaster points to the group and goes, "Murder them for their insolence. East wind, west wind. I want all of them turned to dust. Fuel for the monastery." What would you like to do, Misty?
Blah, 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 blah. I shoot him. 24. 21 magic damage.
You shoot right into him.
Is
Your
there-
arrow seems to almost dink when it hits him.
It dinks.
Yes.
I don't know what that means.
So
I will-
another thing you notice, Misty, as well, is that you were looking at his claws. He's kind of got like these glowing sword shards in his claws. Give me an Arcana check. This one's free just because your passive perception is so high.
Arcana. 18.
You've seen these shards before. Somewhere in a book you've read about super swords, legendary swords out there. And you realize that these shards of swords in his fingers are broken pieces of a vorpal blade.
Oi. Okay. Stay away from his claws. So I'm sorry. So he had some sort of resistance to the bow.
You don't know.
Is that why it dinked? Is that why it dinked? I don't understand dink. I guess is.
That's it. You don't understand it. You just hear it dink.
Okay. All right. Then I run. These guys are in the balcony, right?
Yes.
The guys on the sides.
All of the monks are up on
Okay.
balconies above you.
Okay. Then I run behind these pillars and I hide.
Okay.
I try to hide.
Remert. You are flying 40 feet up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and immediately fly next to some of the rafters that we were talking about.
Okay.
Looking at the monks, Do I see any that seem to have any appearance of using ranged weaponry?
You do not. They all seem to be holding these pole arms.
Okay, do I see any that would appear to look arcane in nature?
Yes, all of the leaders, you see the ones that have kind of been, they're more decorated. They have a lot more like jewelry around their neck as opposed to the rest of them. They seem to have these kind of attachments at the end of their pole arms you've never seen before and you don't recognize.
So the Red Hoods. Does that sound accurate? Red Hoods are the ones that are leaders?
Yes, the Red Hoods are the ones with leaders.
Alright. I will go ahead and take a shot at the one that I'm going to ping for you real quick.
Okay.
And I do have it indicated on the bow whether it's a sharpshooter shot or not, so you'll be able to tell based on that. Does an 18 hit?
Yes, it does.
10 points of damage,
You hit him right in the shoulder.
and then I'm going to bonus action hide.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and find like an area within the rafter that gives me the most amount of cover from as many angles as I can find, and then I'll hide.
Okay, bonus action hide.
26.
Yeah, you disappear in the rafters. All right, that's gonna be the red monk's turn. You see all of them climb down, and they get down to the ground floor, and they're holding up their pole arms now. And that'll be their turn. This is this elder monk's turn. What's his range? Grandma. This monk holds forward his pike that he's holding, and then he goes, and it seems to like charge up with light, and then a beam of light comes shooting at you, a laser. And it goes right past your head, and kind of dinks off the ground. You see the reflective surface of the ground. It kind of deflects off, it goes flying off, and it dissipates into the air after it deflects. And then these two monks are going to do the exact same thing. One of them is going to, or the one to the southeast is going to shoot it at Motate. Yep, you're in range. And then the other one's going to also try and shoot at Grandma. The first one will be Motate. Motate, that'll hit you. 21 will hit you. As you see the same thing happen, this kind of laser comes off the end of this pole arm, and it stabs you. And you manage to just in time get your shield up, and you watch the laser dissipates off of the end of your magical shield directly in front of you. And then the other one shoots at Grandma. Grandma, this thing hits your chain armor, and you see it bounces off your chain armor, off in somewhere else. And Grandma, that is your turn.
I guess let's just take the big boy down. Get him to charge. To charge at the big boy.
Okay. Tulip goes charging. I think that's what a reindeer sounds like. And a 21 will hit it. You plow into this guy. As you get closer, you see that he's been wearing this leather robe. You couldn't quite see it from afar, but as you get closer, you see that his leather robe is made entirely of faces. So that deals. Oh, he does a strength saving throw, and it does 8, 6, 14, correct?
Yeah.
It knocks him over. Ugh! As he falls back laying down onto his throne. You dare touch me?
I'm gonna touch him 2 more times with my shillelagh.
Oh yeah.
And you crit on him.
I'm obliged to burn my last spell slot. Is it undead? Or no, it's a fiend, right?
It is a fiend.
Take 2 of those.
Oh boy, oh boy. So you crack this guy across the head, breaking his jaw. Ugh! A couple of his bone teeth go out, and then you immediately shoot down your grandma energy down the walking stick, and it seems to sear over his body. Several of the faces burn away, and he takes, what is that, 24, 34, 42, 51 damage.
Hell yeah.
Then you go to hit him again. He is actually prone, so the 20 will hit him for an additional 8 bludgeoning damage. Okay. That is Centimere's turn. He actually can't do a whole lot from his coffin. What he does do is run away. He gets this far, and then it stops. The mechanical device will follow your orders. He is unable to retreat any further. So that is the Grand Master's turn. He stands up, and he goes, "Fine, you want to play dirty?" And he snaps his fingers, and suddenly, standing next to him, appears Gerhardt. He wraps his hand around Gerhardt's neck. Geralt, roll initiative for me, please. Okay, he'll go in the next round. And he goes, "Hit me again, and I'll murder your friend, Grandma."
Turn of events.
And then he holds his hand up, and it teleports away. His hand disappears.
Sorry, his hand or I disappear?
His hand disappears. So he's got his right hand is holding Gerhardt. His left hand disappears.
That's weird.
That is weird.
And Grandma, you hear a dink as your chainmail dinks from behind you. You turn around just in time to see his hand right behind you floating in the air as it claws you across the face, dealing 5 slashing damage to you. I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw, please. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's the wrong attack. And then right next to his hand, suddenly his tail that is whipping back and forth also appears in the air. And it pokes you in the eye. And that also hits you. Give me a Constitution saving throw, please. You take 15 piercing damage. That will succeed, so you do not get poisoned. And then he's going to move back here, dragging Gerhardt with him. You can take an op attack if you would like. Oh my goodness. You bash him across the head as he's going back. Ah! Dealing 14 bludgeoning. You don't have any spell slots left, right?
Yeah, I'm tapped. Grandma needs it.
Okay. That is the green monk's turns.
I think I got skipped.
Who said that? Oh, Surak, you did. Look at that.
Yeah.
How did that even happen?
I don't know.
The order is getting weird here.
Yeah, I was gonna say you skipped over a number of them right before you had the Bone Devil pick.
I am going to go over here and then cast Cone of Cold, my staff. The area of
I moved them. The order just got messed up for some reason, but I moved them. Yeah, I'll let you hit all but this one all the way to the. I'll let you haul but the regular monk to the north and the regular monk to the south. Then. No, wait, that Cone of Cold goes a little further, right? It starts there, right?
yeah.
Okay, then I'll let you hit all but the two all the way to the north. Then.
Okay.
One hell of a cone.
All right, what's the save for that?
Constitution.
Fail, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 8. Only one of them passes. They literally don't have enough health to survive, actually.
Can you not delete them and just put them on the GM layer? Because I have intentions.
Okay. This Cone of Cold comes out of Motatet's mouth, and you watch as all of the monks on one side get frozen solid, and shatter immediately. For the purposes of this, they'll be skeletons if you want to turn them into skeletons.
Well, I mean, my next turn.
Yep.
Necromancers, man.
Is that your turn?
That is my turn.
All right, so that is the final remaining Elder Monk. He is going to take a shot at Grandma. As she's the only one within range, as he shoots his laser at her. And missing. The laser deflects off of your armor, Grandma. Dink! So that is the final two green guys, and they're going to climb down. It takes all their movement to get down, but now they're, this one can actually get there. They're surrounding you, Mototet. They have their pole arms ready. And that is the left monk, half-orc. He pulls out his sword and begins swirling around. He seems very dexterous with it, and then he leaps at you, Grandma. He slashes at you with this this blade with a Medusa's head on it, and it bink deflects off of your armor. So, Surak, I was wondering if you might have some insight into this. So these guys are, they normally get 3 attacks with their unarmed strike, but they get this additional attack with this blade, but it doesn't necessarily in the module state that they get 3 attacks with the blade. So it wouldn't, so they only get 1 attack with the blade, right? Because their multi-attack doesn't specifically say that they have it.
I have a hard time answering that without feeling like there's a conflict of interest. But I think if it usually multi attacks will state which attacks are the multi attack, from what I've seen on monster stats.
Yeah, so I'm gonna rule in this case that since it doesn't necessarily state that, since the module itself doesn't have written that they can use this blade with their multi attack, I'm going to rule they can only attack once per round with it. So, I just want to see if you had any further clarification on that. So he swings this sword at you, Grandma, dink, and it bounces off your chainmail. Mary, is also going to. She actually yells at Centimir's robot, "Run!" And with that, she sprints away, and then the robot follows her. Warhorse is now within range of Gerhardt. What would you like? Would you like your warhorse to do, Gerhardt?
I would like my warhorse to charge up to join me and attempt to tackle. Not tackle, trampoline charge this particular person.
Okay.
Oh, I can move it, sorry. Alright, and I believe hooves attack.
It hits straight to this this half orc.
Did that not auto roll damage? That's interesting. Okay, 11 bludgeoning.
That's a setting you can set on the character sheet. So.
Let me change that.
Deals 11 bludgeoning damage to him.
And then strength saving throw or be knocked prone. DC 14.
He goes prone as he gets
And
knocked over by
then-
these hooves.
And then the horse can make another hooves attack as a bonus action.
He steps on him, tramples him, dealing another 8 bludgeoning damage to him.
Okay, that's its turn.
Okay. This is the blue monks. They're going to spend all of their turn. Climbing down from the balcony. This is the other half orc. He comes here. He doesn't like that this horse just ran up and attacked his buddy, and he goes, "Get away from West." And he is going to attack West. What's the horse's AC? 11.
Yeah.
He cuts West for 6 piercing. Misty.
Cut west.
Or not West, the warhorse, sorry.
The horse. I assumed, yeah.
I heard declaration of intent.
I will. West is prone, right?
Yes.
And I will shoot. Am I shooting devil? I will shoot devil. I had, I think, a 20 on my stealth.
Okay. That's above its passive perception. Go ahead and shoot with advantage.
Okay, 27.
Nice.
As it hits once more.
I will bonus action disengage because I think all these people can hit me with their pole army things. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, and then I will... Oh, crap. They're all nasty. I will run up here and try to hide.
You already
There.
disengaged.
I did, so I will just run up there then.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, I guess I'll do that.
Okay.
That's my turn.
Rimmert,
Question for you.
answer for you.
Would utilizing Hexblade's Curse remove me from stealth?
I'm gonna say yes, because you're using a spell or attack. Or a spell-like
Okay.
effect.
Then I'm
He's got
going
a-
to go ahead and fire at the Bone Devil.
Okay.
And I believe that my stealth was also above his passive perception. So I should be firing at advantage, correct?
Yes. If you guys... somebody spoke up there. If you guys have a ruling about whether or not that is the case, that is fine. Let me know and send me the link, and I'll take a look at it. I don't know. I'm just ruling in the spur of the moment to not slow things down. Yeah, go ahead and take an attack.
I'm
with
Yeah,
not-
advantage.
and I'm completely fine with it.
Oof.
Oh.
You you go to stand up and shoot from the rafters, and pull, you bash your head on the rafters. Oh my goodness! And the arrow goes, it just falls to the ground, and you have to pull another one from your pack.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and given how badly that went, I'm going to bonus action hide after I move, flitting from shadow to shadow a little bit.
Okay.
And that'll be the end of my turn with the 19.
Okay. Garrett, you are currently grappled by the Grandmaster.
Grappled only?
Grappled only.
Okay, I will attempt to use my action to break that grapple.
Okay.
Is it athletics or is it a saving throw?
It's athletics or acrobatics.
Okay.
You push your arms aside, and he goes, and he lets go of you as you manage to force his hands away, and you get yourself free without a problem.
Awesome. So I've used my action, I still have my movement, and that's it, right?
Yep.
Alright. Oof. Don't want the attack of opportunity, but... Wait, I can bonus action. Yeah, why not? I'm going to bonus action Shield of Faith on Grandma.
Okay.
So... Concentration and +2 to AC for Grandma.
Grandma, you have +2 to AC.
And I'm just going to sit tight where I am.
Sounds good. That is Green Monks. Oh, I double-clicked again. That is Red Monks. They will all dash. This elder monk is going to look over the balcony's edge, and he's going to shoot at Botate, right beneath him. I clicked twice again. The 7 will miss on you. You know, I'll just have the second one be the other one who's also coming up. Actually, he can't reach anybody, so he'd be shooting. I think he'd shoot at you. He just shoots a disadvantage. So he'll shoot at you with disadvantage for 15, Motate. Does that hit?
Nope. AC 19.
Ooh, big AC for a wizard. Yeah, so you see 2 lasers come at you this time, poof, poof, and you're faster than light as you dodge both of them without a problem. Sitmir actually leaves the map. The coffin is following Mary now. Grandma.
Tulip. Evasive maneuvers. So Tulip will disengage, carry me over to the devil, and I will strike it twice.
Both of those will miss. As you go to hit this thing, poof, poof, he's hard as metal for some reason.
Then we'll back off. Disengage style.
Okay. Is that your turn?
Yep.
And the Grandmaster will go, fine. Everyone dies then, I don't care. And he's going to claw at you, Garrett, twice.
Ouch.
21 will hit for 5 slashing. 10 will miss, and then he tries to sting you with his tail. Man, rolling terribly over here.
I need to do a Constitution saving throw for my concentration.
Yes. DC 10.
I clicked it. Yeah, there it is. That's for my aura of protection.
Yep,
+3.
more than enough. You're good.
I don't know why it went twice, sorry.
It's all good.
You said I just took the 5?
You just took the 5. Yep, the other 2
Okay.
missed you. Motate.
Ana Nathrak, tu vas vetad, doth viente.
Cat's
Inspiration.
Yeah.
Inspiration. I like when people chant their spells. Dance Macabre. Ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. Gains a boon.
I imported the skeleton or zombie DM is the you said skeletons, right?
Yeah, I'll say since you cone of cold them for more than their maximum health, you basically just froze all of their flesh off.
Okay. Here's. I think I can get 5.
You guys watch as you hear the sound of clanking bones. Up on the balconies, there are 5 skeletons suddenly appear up on the balconies looking over the edge. Their cloaks hanging out free now, showing their fully flayed faces.
Destroy them.
And I point at the guys who are surrounding me.
Okay, because they're up on the balcony, it's going to take their full action kind of climbing down because they're 20 feet up. I did that with all the monks as well, so.
Okay. End turn.
Okay. That is this elder monk who sees Misty has run out from underneath them. He's going to take a shot at Misty. Oh my god, I rolled 3 times. 23 hits you for 12 force damage. Misty, as this laser comes off the end of his pole arm right into you.
Yeah, uncanny dodge.
Okay, you take 6. Oh my goodness, my mouse keeps double clicking. It's really annoying. That is the green monks who are next to Motate. I'll let you move the skeletons. Like that. That'll just be it was their dash action get to the bottom anyway, so they have a little more extra movement. They can probably surround it like that if you'd like.
Okay.
Okay, so these Dance Macabre concentration it is.
Yes.
Mouse, please stop double clicking things. Okay, so I'm gonna have these two monks try and stab you with their hooked pole arms. You know what? I'm gonna roll odds and evens for both of them. Odds they attack you, evens they attack a skeleton. They both attack skeletons because you're lucky. All right, so both of them will attack the 2 skeletons south of them. Ah, what are these? I don't know, Ed. Kill them. What's AC on skeletons? 13?
Yes.
So these polearms go out to these skeletons and completely miss as they stab right through where the skeleton's stomach was. The skeleton growls at them. They both miss. That's Westwind's turn. He stands up. Then he's going to take a stab at Garrett. Missing. He's kind of thrown off by the horse trampling over him. He misses. Mary and Centimere just flat out leave.
Cowards.
Warhorse.
The warhorse is going to come around on this side. That would be an attack of opportunity.
Yep, and Westwind will take it. Or Eastwind, even. That hits for 11 piercing as he right into the side of the Warhorse. The Warhorse is looking real bad now.
Yes, it is. It's going to do a hooves attack against that one.
Okay. And a 9 will miss.
Okay, that's its turn.
So this time he's more than ready. You watch as he Matrix dodges these hooks. Stands back up. He's a very, very quick half-orc. That is the blue monk's turns. One of them will run up to you, Misty. Two of them had to dash, so two will attack the warhorse, and one of them will attack Misty. So this is Misty. 14, does that hit you, Misty?
Yes. Oh, it's not.
You dodge out of the way as this hooked forearm comes at you. And then two at the warhorse, and that will kill the warhorse.
Yep. Horse, no! I hadn't thought of a name for you yet.
That is Eastwind's turn. He goes, "You're gonna die anyways. It doesn't matter." As he's going to stab you with his blade, hitting you for 10 piercing, right into the side of you. Give me a concentration check, please.
12.
Are you sure that doesn't already have your aura in it?
Shouldn't. Does it?
It does. Your aura is already factored into your saves, so you actually only rolled a 9.
My bad.
It's okay.
Why was it already factored in?
It's just like when you do character answer, it automatically adds it to your saves. If you look at actually you're looking at it right now, it's right there at the bottom of saving throws. Where's it at? It says global saving throw modifier in save options, and it's 3.
Oh.
So that just adds 3 to all your saving throws.
My mistake. So then that one that I rolled a while back was only
it was like
14.
Yeah, but it only needed to be a 10, so it was fine.
Oh, okay.
I checked in this case because I'm like, I better make sure that aura is actually there. But yeah, you lose concentration on Shield of Faith then.
Okay. Whoops. Sorry.
Now you can't even focus, can you? Misty.
They will bonus action disengage. And I will run up and I will stab him with my short sword. Pull out my short sword as I run towards him. Okay, 23 to hit. 24 piercing damage.
As you stab into him, he stops moving. And he makes all of those sounds.
That's good.
And as you pull out your sword, you see some wiring comes out where you left a wound.
Oh. I think that's my turn.
Okay. Remart.
Actually,
Nope. Anything? What?
no, I was just going to run a bit further. 5, 10, 15, 20. No,
That's
never
fine.
mind.
Yep,
I can't
go
go
ahead
any
and
further.
Okay.
Sorry, I was reading something. You struck this guy?
It did. And then
And
he turned into a robot.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if he was dead or just like.
He's dead. Remart.
Now he's dead.
I'm gonna fire at, I believe this Westwind is the more injured of the two.
He is definitely the more injured of two. He got trampled by a warhorse.
Let's see if I can avoid double critical failures again.
My poor horse.
And 11
Not
will
a whole
miss.
lot better. I'll go back and sheepishly hide where I was before because nobody noticed me doing anything.
So you shoot this thing down. You watch as he steps forward without a path, and he looks right up at you. And then you duck back into the shadows, and he looks around, and he seems to have lost you again. They are up in the rafters, brother. Garrett.
I'm going to turn at that apparently metallic strange thing that Misty destroyed, spit on it for imprisoning and trying to grapple me. and then I'm going to turn towards west, I believe it was, and I will make 2 attacks. But before I do, I draw my my flame tongue longsword and use my bonus action to whisper its name, Felar Karim, and it ignites.
Okay.
And I'm going to make 2 one-handed strikes with it.
Both of those missing.
Bummer.
It's not your long sword. You immediately slash out, but this monk half orc seems to floating around your attacks as if he knew exactly where you're going to strike all along.
And that's everything I've got. And a turn.
So this set of monks goes. He points at the body of the Grand Master, and he goes, "Wait a second! The Grand Master's dead! We can leave! Let's get out of here, boys!" And he yells it, and all of the other monks go, "Yeah!" And they all drop their weapons, and they begin leaving. All of them begin leaving. They're all going to disengage and get out of there. The elder monks do the same. They go, "Yeah!" And they start running behind the balcony out. They're all going to leave as well. You hear them go outside and they go, "The Grand Master's dead!" And there's like a cheer throughout the whole monastery. "Riots! Riots!" Grandma.
Well, let's clean this up, Tulip. We'll charge on in on this one here. Same.
So the monk, watching his buddy get charged by the warhorse, sidesteps Tulip's ram. But it's not able to get out of the way of your walking stick as it comes, bashes him across the head, for 7 bludgeoning damage. But he does manage to get out of the way of the second one. Okay. He is dead. Motute. I just deleted you from initiative. Because my mouse keeps double clicking.
He looks at the green dot ones, and well, the guys who are around him. He says, "Do you wish to continue fighting?
Hell no, we're getting out of here."
Then leave."
Yeah, they're looking like they're gonna leave for sure.
But it's not our turn yet.
We will on our turn. We must respect the universe's rules.
And you, monks, do you intend to continue your fight? I look at the monks over here.
Absolutely. We didn't take this job out of servitude. We genuinely like killing.
Destroy them. I tell my skeletons to attack them, and then I will. The bell tolls for thee on the right one.
He fails. Doom! His head goes, ear splitting. The right one actually had taken damage. He just got hit by Grandma. So he takes 10 necrotic damage. Alright, and go ahead and make attacks with your skeletons then.
Okay. Let's see. So I'll have these guys use their short bow. These two short sword.
You see the skeletons have a little short bow made of their innards and a couple of their ribs tied together. Because they magically appeared out of nowhere. The 26 will hit as well as 16.
Okay.
So the skeletons walk up to these monks. They're dodging all of their attacks. So one of the couple of skeletons' arrows actually right into the side of them. You see the monk is actually going to use his reaction to lower the damage by 6 from the 16. And he manages to backhand this arrow, but it still hits him in the shoulder. So he takes 25 piercing damage total.
Okay. End turn.
This guy leaves initiative order. As he goes into the things. All of these monks are leaving too. That is Westwind's turn. He goes, I have no time for scaredy cat monks and skeletons. And he's going to attack Gerhardt.
So I failed to mention this before because I completely forgot that I am wearing a cloak of displacement.
Okay.
So that would be disadvantage on attacks until I'm hit.
That's initiative. That's not what I meant to roll. And a 10 will miss you as he slash or pokes into your illusionary element, completely missing you.
Or he's dead.
Which one is that? Is that the... Yeah, all the monks are leaving now. They're going to go riot in the streets. Warhorse.
Dead.
Oh, yeah. That is Eastwind's turn. He's going to attack Grandma. Missing Grandma as he dink pokes off of Grandma's chainmail. Misty.
Climb on top of Warhorse, and I stab at Westy.
Okay. 22 will hit as you stab right into Westy for 30 piercing damage.
30 damage.
He's hurting real bad.
And then that is my turn.
Okay. Rumert.
I got fingers crossed so badly that I actually hit once in combat tonight. Here goes nothing.
Hey.
Who are you shooting
Hey!
at?
24.
Who are you shooting at?
Oh, sorry, west.
The one on the left?
Yes, the one that's taking the more damage, I believe.
Okay. Roll your damage.
And then I also have sneak attack. So, total of 19 points of damage.
So he sees your arrow coming and manages to deflect it partially. So the 13 is actually reduced by 7 to 6. So he takes 6 piercing and 6 fire. That is exactly enough to kill him as it goes right into his neck. And he falls to the ground dead.
And then I will fly and hide.
Okay.
End of turn.
Give me stealth check.
Rolling it is taking a minute. Sorry.
Garrett.
Seeing the monk before me fall, I quickly turn my shield forward, bring my glowing flame blade out, and 2 strikes attempted at this monk.
No! My brother! Yeah, that'll definitely hit. And as he yells out, "My brother," you stick your sword right through his head, searing it on fire. His flailed head melting before you as you cut off the top of his head. He dies.
Awesome. That would be my turn. Wait, no, I'm going to lay on hands, Grandma. No, I can't. Never mind.
We're out of combat. It's fine.
Okay.
Because that was the last enemy, as all of the monks have run outside to go riot.
Okay, awesome.
Cool.
I didn't even need to use Divine Smite.
So, as the hallway goes quiet, you hear outside sounds of shouting and cheering. Yes! And things being ripped apart. There's a small explosion in the distance. And people just running around yelling. Suddenly there's screams enter it as well. You hear the pounding of footsteps below you as there's trampling as people are kind of going crazy. And suddenly you hear the engine start sputtering a bit. You didn't realize it when you first arrived, but all around you there's been this kind of constant like humming sound. Suddenly you hear this humming sound is spurting. And every time you hear a spurt, the entire island shakes just a little bit.
Let's get out of here. I get a feeling like we're falling. Thanks for
Unless-
rescuing me, by the way.
Make haste towards the barge that brought us to the island.
We gotta hope the barge is still there, given the fact that there are so many monks that are gonna recognize what's about to happen. I'm gonna try and fly ahead so that I can take and secure the barge for my party.
Okay. So you guys head outside with Remart flying ahead. Remart, you get outside, and the first thing you see is there are people going wild in the streets. Out in the valley, you see there are numbers of barges, these same kind of ferries that have been kind of thrown out there, and they're being kind of haphazardly directed across to the opposite bridge. And you also see that right outside the door is Sintamir and Mary. Mary seems to be trying to pry open Sintamir's coffin. Oh, it seems you guys managed to survive, Sintamir says from inside the coffin.
We're in the middle of daylight, aren't we?
Say it again?
We're in midday, aren't we?
Yeah, I would say it's midday out.
It would be unwise to release a vampire in our midst.
It'd be more unwise to... Sorry, wrong voice. I feel it would be more unwise for us to not have his assistance in escaping.
But
Yeah.
wouldn't you be wrong by being released into the day?
It would seem this contraption keeps him in our service. If we were to release him, he would find ways to destroy us.
Fine.
Let us not bandy words at this time about the releasing of the vampire. We need to get off this island. Let us move with speed.
Mary kind of scowls you. She goes, "Have you forgotten your mission?"
Our mission
Our-
was to gather information, but this island seems to be in a matter of distress. I have no desire to go down with it.
It would seem this island is no longer part of any map at this moment. Let's make haste and get off it before it crashes.
As we're attempting to leave, if there's time, I ask Mary, what did she stand to gain by opening the coffin?
I required only his assistance in quelling the riots around us so that we may safely leave. I do not wish to fight with these bandits for a skiff across.
Given our
My
performance-
divine senses tell me that Sitamir would be our best option, and the skiffs would not be useful in our escape.
So
There may
far,
be another way.
your divination has only brought us trouble.
Our divination led us here to the Sphinx, did it not? We safely navigated through the caverns, even when Sintamir no longer recognized the way. It is foolish to think that my divinations have not been effective in this matter.
Let us not spend time speaking of this. Let us secure a skiff for ourselves.
How
I
far
have
have
a
we?
method to away from them.
So
How far have we fallen?
the island has not moved at all.
Oh,
It
okay.
is shaken a little bit, but it has not moved from its location.
Okay. And I wasn't present during the normal travel onto the island. What's the distance? Do any of you know the distance that the barge you speak of traveled from approximately here to here?
So it was heavily obscured in the mist. Would we have an approximate amount of time spent?
I'd say it's probably about 200 feet, maybe.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna fly ahead to one of the skiffs, so when I get there, I would like to sit down, tell the skiff, the person manning the skiff that I stop at, we are commandeering this. If you wish to leave this island, you will stay with it. And
So
then I'm going to do. Go ahead.
you head towards the dock. It seems that every prisoner, every monk, every elder monk is kind of crowded around here, and you have a hard time looking forward. You see that these skiffs themselves seem to be coming out of the side of the cavern, and the cavern kind of produces them magically. So every time somebody reaches in, they grab a skiff, a new one is created. But there's only one skiff master. Every so often, people will like jump on a bunch of the skiffs and they'll try and push across. And they won't know what they're doing, and they'll just sit there. And after a couple minutes, the skip will fall from the sky. It seems only the ferryman, who is this hooded figure, kind of taller and thinner than everyone else, sits off to the side in his own skiff, but he does not allow anybody to boat or land on his boat. Anybody who does gets pushed off the edge.
I'm gonna fly over by him outside of his reach.
You see a bony hand comes forward underneath the cloak and holds out in front of you, aimed at you.
I wish to speak.
I give him 2 copper.
The hand wraps itself around the copper and throws it off the side of the boat.
As the other monks and people try to crowd in on us, if they do, I would like the silent image and minor illusion. An image of the sphinx from the other side that we ran into earlier. And utilizing my recollection, use her voice to command the others to back off and proceed in a more orderly fashion if they wish to leave.
What is your price?
He simply holds out his hand. So when you minor illusion this sphinx, and you have it say "back off," a bunch of the monks kind of step away and back away. They kind of move back, knowing the sphinx. A few of the other ones then point across, and they see that the sphinx on the other side is still there. And there's
I thought
confusion.
the way was obscured by mist.
No, there's way below. Everything below is obscured by mist.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, you can still
Well,
you guys could see the island from the other side, but only when you walked on the platform where the sphinx was.
Live and learn. Good
Yeah.
enough.
But Mary, when she sees all this, she goes, "No, this is wrong. I feel this is wrong. We're not meant to go this way. Our destiny lies another." She continues shuffling her deck.
And what way is it that you feel we are meant to go?
Say that again.
And what way is it that you feel we are meant to go?
She points to the opposite side of the valley from where you guys came from. So there's the platform where the Sphinx was. She points to the opposite side. She goes, "That way. But I do not know how to get across, or where we are meant to enter. But I do feel that our destiny lies on this island. We are only but to find it. Them," she points at all of the prisoners, "their destiny lies back where we came from. But us, and our mission, we go the opposite.
Well, if that's not a pothook, I don't know what it is.
Where are we located? We're outside, right?
You guys are outside. Most of you are around the skiff platform.
Okay.
I will cast Fly at 4th level.
Okay.
And let's see, we got Misty, Variable, Garrett, Grandma. I think I can
Already
add
flying.
one more person. So Misty gets the additional fly.
So we have Gerhardt and Grandma, as well as Mary and our vampire friend that are laying down at this time. Mary, while I hear your concern, would it not be of greater value to get onto a skiff until we could verify that the island was not in danger of imminent collapse?
When you say that, one of the prisoners next to you, it's not going to collapse. Well, at least not immediately. Maybe tomorrow. Kind of got like a rough accent. You can tell he's kind of from the streets. He goes, still though, we got to get out of here. We don't want to be here when it does collapse. But more importantly, freedom. Am I right? Finally
Wasn't
free.
it-
You see, he's got a flayed face. His bones going. He's like, this place tortures you and insults you, and that Grandmaster guy's a punk. Glad he's dead. Well done, by the way.
So, given what we're hearing, I would like to fly up and start looking around to see if there are any that don't attempt to be or appear to be fleeing the island.
Okay. So Remar, you fly up. Motata, do you want to fly up as well?
I mean, where are we flying?
He's just going to look around.
I test the edge to see if there's like some sort of like anti-flying. Like, am I able to fly across beyond
Yes.
the?
You're able to fly.
Okay.
Are you flying to take a look at the island, or are you flying across the way, Remar?
I'm actually flying higher up on the island to see if all the monks and all the prisoners are
Right.
attempting to flee, or are any taking different actions? Anything that looks outside of the normal pattern of let's get the hell out.
So you see that there are quite a few who are still kind of looting. The vast majority of the people on the island seem to be moving towards the skiffs to get across. There doesn't necessarily seem to be a sense of urgency, more of a we're glad to be out of here kind of vibe. A lot of the prisoners kind of pushing and shoving and laughing at each other. You see that there are quite a few of the monks that have been dragged out in the streets, and the prisoners are just beating them up in the streets. But most people seem to be leaving. But like I said, there's not like a sense of urgency. Like they're not like trying to get off right this second.
Right, but didn't you say that everybody that got on the skiff, and as soon as the skiff was a little bit out, they dropped?
Yep. And then you see, there just seems to be an endless pouring out from the prison cells. The prison cell just seems to just always have people just pouring out of it. And when you think about that, you notice that you watch somebody go out into a skiff, drop, and then a few minutes later, you see that same person comes out of the prison cell.
So they're not dying. They're just being returned to the prison cells.
Yep. And with that, we're going to go ahead and end the session there. You guys need to figure out what you guys want to do next time. So we'll see where we want to move forward. So today you discovered this strange island with this bottomless pit below you. You killed the Grand Master, who is actually quite deadly when he can get an attack off. But if he crits, oof, very strange.
Yeah.
But I will say you guys also looted the corpses of East and West Wind. And you did find that they had special blades.
Yeah.
Blades of what kind? Ooh, pretty.
Oh my god, it's a chocobo sword.
I'm more tripping off the fact that we're in tier 2 getting a very rare.
Yeah.
So the icon they use for the polymorph blade there, Surak, is it's a rare item from Final Fantasy XIV that you could only get for buying the deluxe edition of Heaven's Ward, I think it was. No, it was Stormblood. So it's just like this rare sword that only people who have bought the pre-ordered the deluxe edition have. And I have it, and the only reason I recognize it is because it's one of the skins I used from one of my characters, and because I think it looks so cool. But I think it's just like it's probably just something you Googled and found like that's a cool sword. But it's just to me, it's like, I know that sword.
I think I googled like polymorph blade, and that's probably, entry number 4 or 5 that came up.
I don't even know why that, because it's a red mage rapier weapon. Like I don't even know why it would come up. Polymorph is not a thing in Final Fantasy XIV. It's very strange to me, but I thought it was kind of funny that it came up. Okay, we will continue same time next week, 8:30 my time, right where we left off, and we're gonna keep running through until you guys either decide to, well, we're not sure where we want to go with it, or you get all the way to the end. So, thanks for playing, guys.
Thanks you.
For...
Just to be clear, it's choice of one or the other, or for the swords.
You guys found both swords, so if you want to
okay.
keep them, just as long as you're within your magic item limit, you can keep them.
Okay.
Thanks, Cora. That was awesome.
Thank you, Cora.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
See you guys next week. Thank you.
Is there gold rewarded for tier 2?
Yeah, it's 40 gold pieces per hour. 30? 30? So you get 90 gold pieces for the session.
Nice.
Are we doing an advancement, or are we not doing that based on my session and instead doing it on total time play?
You get an advancement when you complete the module.
Okay.
Correct. You can only have one of each. Oh, you mean like per AL rules? You guys all of you could have polymorph blade. You kind of have to suspend belief, a little bit, but because it kind of duplicates at the end of the session. But yeah, you guys could all have this if you wanted to keep it.
And
I
later,
thought it wasn't until the during it's just what we find.
It's not a story item, so it doesn't.
so we per AL though, can you take more than one magic item per a session? I've never run it before.
Yeah, as long as you have it, as long as you're in your limit.
Exactly.
And that's 3, right? For
Yep.
Okay.
For tier 2.
Oh, that's a pity,
I know.
because all the items I currently have I view as essential to this character's build.
Same here.
But how often do you run into very rare items at tier 2?
I mean,
you either take them or lose them. By the way.
yeah, I'm just
take
exciting.
I have 2 renowned items that I.
Yeah, so do I. I want to see if I can trade these before next week, and if not, then I'll just up them and go back to my renown items.
Well, don't you run into the issue though, is that even though you can have a very rare item in a tier 2, you can't trade it for a tier 3 very rare. Correct?
Yeah, you can. You can't give it to a character's or DM reward. I think that's the only limit.
Okay.
You can't give a tier 3 You can't give a reward from a tier 3 mod
To a tier 1
to a
character.
tier 1 or 2 character.
I think that's
Okay.
correct.
Sorry, you can, you just can't use it until they're level, or they're tier 3.
Right. Right. Which is essentially you don't assign it until.
Right.
But like several of the adventures I've run have rare items in tier 3 mods that I keep trying to give to my tier 2 characters. I can't do it because you can't give tier 3 rewards to tier 2 characters.
Okay. Interesting.
Anyway, but yeah, if you get something from a lower, if you receive something as a character from a lower tier, that's fine.
The question then becomes, what is the actual trade value of these items, given
Whatever
the
you
fact that
get.
they're cursed?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, since they're both cursed, yeah. Well, I'm going to go find out.
All right, I will see you guys next week then.
All right, thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
playing.
for-
Bye.
Yeah, thank you again.
All right, stream. Such a cool mod. I really like this mod, but we're gonna go ahead and end it there. Thanks for watching. If you're still here, and I've got I see JR still here. Look at that. I'll be back. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm playing a Percy's game. Friday I'm playing a Percy's other game. We're doing Saturday. Am I doing nothing Saturday? I think I'm doing nothing Saturday. I'll probably be playing. I'll be working on trying to beat Singrid and God of War again on Saturday. So I'll be back Saturday and then Sunday night. I always try and lurk. I appreciate lurking. Lurking increases the viewer count, which gets other people interested in watching. All right, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.